Hello friends. So this video is continuation of the Ukraine-Russia crisis. This is a part two of the previous video. So basically in this video I'll be discussing about the what should be India's response and what is the implication on India because of Russia-Ukraine crisis. Okay. So if you want to know comprehensively about the Russia-Ukraine crisis, please do have a look at the previous video on Russia-Ukraine crisis. Over there I discuss about the global implications. In this video, I'll be discussing about implications on India. Okay. So now what are the implications on India? If we see geopolitically, first of all, there's implication is that World War scenario is occurring because Russia has attacked on Ukraine. So now if Ukraine and Russia and if even NATO forces join in, so this local level war may spill over across the world. So it may create challenge for India, obviously, security wise, economically, politically, in all aspects. Then second, what is emerging is there's a emergence of Cold War 2.0. So there's emergence of US-led bloc versus China-led bloc, China-Russia-led bloc. So there's emergence of Russia-China axis. Actually, post 2014, when Western nations had imposed economic sanctions on Russia, so Russia had been searching for the friends for economic purpose, even for strategic purpose. So because of this reason, Russia has been coming closer to China. So there has been numerous events like a lot of energy deals are being signed between Russia and China. Russia as exporter and China as an importer. Then trade between them has increased to $147 billion. Then there are being talks to link Eurasian Economic Union with China-led Belt and Road Initiative. So all this poses challenge to India because India is not part of BRI. India poses it. Then there have been also news of settlement of border disputes in Russia and China. And recently, both Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, they gave a joint statement that Russia and China friendship had no limits and there is no forbidden areas of cooperation. So such a deep friendship poses threat to India because Russia is closer to India, but there is a tussle between India and China. And if Russia comes closer to China, then it would become very difficult for India to gain support of Russia to challenge China. Like in the past, whenever China has tried to trouble India, Russia has been there for India to support, even in UNSC vote. But now if Russia, China come closer, and even there are the news that even Pakistan is trying to uh, come closer to Russia because there have been military export from Russia to Pakistan, then military exercises are being conducted. So now if this nexus emerged, Pakistan, Russia, China, so this will pose challenge to India. And India's dream of becoming a leader in the South Asian region and Asian region would be under threat. And also India's relation with Afghanistan and Central Asia would get affected. So these are the implications of India in its own backyard. Then also deal has been signed between Russia and India regarding S-400 delivery. But now with the uh, Russia's attack on Ukraine, it will US might impose sanction under CARSA on India because right now um, partially advantage that basically US has allowed India to buy, not explicitly but implicitly. But now with this attack, it might become very difficult for India to acquire S-400 equipment, which is must for India's security purpose. Then also, if we see geoeconomically, energy crisis is occurring. There will be rise in the energy price, and as we know, 80% of crude oil is imported by India. So now it will affect our balance of payment. Then forex reserves would get impacted. Then it will lead to food inflation, and it will affect our business also. So all these things, what would happen? It will affect our economy. So it will affect our objective of V-shaped recovery, economic growth, and also our like this budget itself. It said that we have increased the capital expenditure to build more and more infrastructure to ensure virtual cycle of economic growth. So all these things would get impacted if such crisis will linger on for longer period. And also India's trade and investment and connectivity with Russia would get impacted, especially India's investment in far east region of Russia. So this would get impacted. Also, India's chances of becoming a player in Arctic Council would get impacted. And also another causes, other implications are humanitarian crisis. Now India has a challenge of evacuating Indians from Ukraine. So all these challenges are being faced by India. Then also one more challenges that India facing is how to respond to the situation. So what India needs to do in such a scenario. So in such a scenario, basically, first of all, we need to have a look at our foreign policy. What is our foreign policy? Our foreign policy is multi-alignment policy. We have moved from the era of non-alignment to multi-alignment. Multi-alignment means that on the basis of interest, strategic interest, we will maintain relation with all the powers. We won't cut relation with one power for the sake of good relation with the other. So India's challenge now is to maintain relation with both US and Russia. Diplomatic interest has to be maintained. So this is the challenge now India is facing. Then secondly, point that comes is that we are peaceful nation. We are peace-loving nations. So we don't support separatism and war. So separatism in Donbas region, we don't support it. And also war in Ukraine and Russia. But we have not given explicit statements. But we have just said that we are deeply concerned about the situation happening across the world. Then also we are against the expansionist policy of Russia, because if we support Russia's expansionist policy at this moment, that means we are implicitly allowing China to pursue its expansionist policy through its five-finger policy. So it will embolden China against us. Like अभी Galvan Valley में अटैक किया, then China को अरुणाचल प्रदेश को एक्वायर करना चाहता है, even parts of Sikkim, even parts of Uttarakhand. So China would get a legitimate reason कि now India is playing the hypocritical role. कि Russia के case में it wants to support expansionism, but not in case of China. So this is very tight situation for India. Okay, so we have to maintain a same stand that we are against expansionist policy. So as a result, what India has done, India said that we need to address Russia's legitimate interest, because it is a legitimate because NATO forces are present on its backyard. Then India abstained at UNSC vote. India said that we urge efforts to be made for immediate cessation of violence, and we are deeply disturbed by recent events in Ukraine. So what is the need of our is that we need to commit to the UN Charter. That means UN-based mediation and UN-based solution needs to be done. And also we need to find constructive way forward. And what should be the way of building the constructive solution? Dialogue is the only solution to settle difference and disputes. So we need to go back to the path of diplomacy rather than relying on forces. So this was the reason given by India, and India abstained from voting at the UNSC resolution. So now what comes into our mind? Basically, ideally, if we think we would be saying that India should go against Russia, but we are living in the practical world. So now in such a scenario, it is easy to say that what India and India's foreign policy need to be, or what it needs to demonstrate. But what is the need of ours that India needs to demonstrate more flexibility to manage the contradictions that are existing in the today's global order. So it is very hardly feasible to be practical in some instances. And obviously there is a limit to the kind of balancing that India is trying to do between India and Russia. US and Russia. कि हम US को भी देखेंगे, रशिया को भी खुश कर करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. अगर रशिया कुछ गलत होगा तो इंडिया को स्टैंड लेना पड़ेगा. पर हाँ, जहाँ पे रशिया गलत नहीं है और हम पे प्रेशर डाला जा रहा है यूएस की तरफ से कि रशिया के साथ रिलेशन रखना वो गलत है, वहां पे इंडिया को बैलेंस रखना पड़ेगा और रशिया के साथ खड़ा होना पड़ेगा. But now in such a scenario, India has to ensure that legitimate interest of Russia is addressed, but at the same time war is stopped, and also whatever economic implications that across the world is occurring, that needs to be checked. So it's very hard to say, yeah, but definitely today Indian diplomacy will be under severe test to manage the rising situations and how to adapt to the changing global order. I hope uh, I was able to explain to all of you clearly what is India's stand and what India needs to do and how India should move forward. And now, whatever articles you all must be reading in the newspaper, it would become very easy for all of you to understand. Okay. So thank you so much. I just request you all to please like, share, and subscribe the channel for more such quality content in future, and let others also know about the such videos. Okay. Thank you so much. We will meet soon with the new topic very soon, and its content would be quality. Thank you.